Alright, y'all. Quiet on the set. Now taping. Ship with me. Videos. YouTube. And action.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel VIAGLO. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different platforms and I resell clothes and shit. So these are all of my sales from Saturday evening to Sunday all day, and then 2 from this morning, and I'm gonna be doing a ship with me. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with the Depop first because it's Depop and I'm excited to have sales over there. The first one is actually this Ralph Lauren, I want to say sleeveless velour terry cloth dress, and you know, I thought this was going to sell a lot quicker, but then again I did pick it up in the dead set of winter and it sat for a little while, but it finally sold. I think I had it priced a little too high on Poshmark because I did get quite a bit of attention. I do think I got maybe like a $20 offer at some point, but I didn't accept it because I'm like, I know I can get more for this because it's Ralph Lauren. I mean, come on. And this is a Y2K style, but it ended up selling for a lot less than it should have. And to be honest with you, I think I priced too low, but like I keep telling y'all, when y'all watch my March recap video, I'm going to talk to you guys about what I did differently to make more sales on Depop. And this is actually one of the reasons how I made this sale on Depop. But this item actually sold for $16.99. They bought it for my full asking price and I didn't even have to, you know, send an offer or anything, or they didn't send an offer. And I paid $1.52 for this at the bins, because y'all know I love the bins. And I profited $13.02 on this sale. Y'all know on Depop I actually do flat rate shipping, so I paid for shipping through Pirate Ship, and I have the buyer always pay for shipping, and it'll be $6, just a flat rate. So it's, I feel like it's nice for people that are buying something that is a little bit heavier because they'll save a lot more money, but it's an inconvenience if you are buying something pretty much lightweight, because then it only costs about $4 for you technically, but you know, I got to make my money how I make my money. So I use these very plain poly bags for any of my sales that are not on Poshmark. I have so many of them. I got all of them on Amazon. I'll have to create like an Amazon store so y'all can like shop with me. But yeah, I made a good old $13.02 off this sale. So the next one is this Free People top. I actually received a offer. Ironically enough, I received an offer on this as soon as I listed this on Depop, and I ended up accepting it. And of course, if you sell on Depop, you already know what time it is. They don't have to buy the item, so the offer is not binding. And then Depop also has it to where they don't get like a nick on their account if they don't purchase the item like eBay does. Like, yeah, it's super annoying that they don't purchase the item after sending an offer. So they'll be penalized on eBay if they send offers and not follow through with it. But on Depop, they don't even care. Somebody said on, I believe the Reddit that I'm on with Depop, they talked about how since Depop allows 14-year-olds on the site, it actually, they can't have things to be binding. So I don't know if that really has any truth to it, but that's what they said, and that's what I, you know, took from it. But this top sold for $14.25. That was actually the offer that they sent me, and I accepted it. I spent $4.46 on this at a thrift store, and I only profited $8.44. So that's pretty depressing. As much as I love the bins, I don't get everything from the bins. I do believe I hauled this over the summer, and this is more of a fall piece, if I'm being completely honest. But what I did differently for that item for Depop, I put in the keywords Stevie Nicks, and if you know her, I didn't know her, but she's kind of like a boho witchy vibes. So if you have something that is very boho but it's not like girly, it's very dark, you know what I'm saying, or witchy style, I will put Stevie Nicks as like a keyword or a tag, because people will search that specifically because they want that style. So just a little heads up there. Okay, so next we're gonna move on to Mercari sales. The first one is this Patagonia Rash Guard. I picked this up at the bins, and once I brought it home and it was time to photograph it, I was like, fuck, why did I pick this up? Because, wow, because it actually is very dingy and it had a flaw on it. So I was like, I should have left this behind, but y'all know how it is. When you find Patagonia at the bins, it's really hard to just leave it there. So I went on and got it, and I listed it pretty low because I knew that it was flawed, and since it was white, it's not gonna look, you know, real crisp anymore. So I listed it low, and I received an offer. I received an offer, and I went on and accepted it because I feel like it was still very reasonable for a bins item. So I got the offer for $19, and I only paid $1.68. And if you're new here, what I do for any of my bins finds of the day, I'll add all the items that I purchased, and then I'll divide it by the amount that I paid for the whole trip, and then that's how I'll get my cost of goods per piece. I know a lot of people do it by like weight and stuff, but I don't have time to do all of that. I like to just have it real simple. We just, you know, add up the number of items and then divide it by how much I paid, and then we call it a day. So yeah, so I paid $1.68 and I profited $14.37 after cost of goods and fees. But my goal is to typically profit $20 per item, but you know, sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's okay, because a lot of times I do profit a lot more than that, so it pretty much balances out for these lower dollar sales. But I noticed that on Mercari I've been making a lot more sales, which I'm pleasantly surprised about, mainly because it just happened out of nowhere. I feel like February it started off, and it could be honestly the things that I'm listing, and I do have a different strategy for Mercari. Instead of listing like sky fucking high in hopes that they buy it at my highest price point that I want, I price it like in the middle. So I know that some people, if they see an item and it's priced fairly low, they'll still try to send you an offer. So what I do is the lowest that they can send me is gonna be my lowest, you know, basically, instead of the highest like I was initially doing. So yeah, that is the plan, and I think that it's actually working because February was pretty good. This month is going amazing on Mercari. Let me know down below if your sales on Mercari have kicked into gear, because something's happening over there for them to, you know, all of a sudden be buying stuff. But anyways, this dress is actually from a brand called Gal Meets Glam. I thrifted this, I want to say over the summer, and I was really happy about it. But then I came home to photograph it, and I noticed that there was a flaw. And I'm like, fuck, Gloria, you do this every single time. And the problem with this one is actually the button. So it's a missing button, and then it's a loose button right up under that one. However, it really does not affect the dress at all. But if you are pricing something pretty high, people are going to be like, okay, well, it's flawed, so I'm not going to be willing to pay, you know, what I would typically pay for a used item, and it's flawed. So I went on and dropped the price a little bit lower. Like I took $40 off basically. So I had it listed at $45, and somebody sent me an offer for $36 on Mercari, of course. And y'all know that on Mercari, they can only send a 20% offer, which that's probably the only perk of Mercari. Granted, they can still message you and be like, could you do 20 for this item or something like that. But as far as like sending a binding offer, it has to only be 20%. So it works out perfectly for you. So I sold this for $36, and I paid $6.14 at a thrift store, and I profited $24.72. All right, so the next one is this Orvis sweater. I have a nice little story to tell about this one. So I ended up having this priced so low on Poshmark, like accidentally low, not I did it intentionally, but it had got all the way down to I want to say $12 if I'm not mistaken. And I have my bot send out offers, so it sent this person a $9 offer with discounted shipping. Now the problem with that is, why is it so fucking low? So I, you know, of course I didn't know until I got other sales that were that low, and I'm like, oh boy, I fucked up. So what I ended up doing was I copied and I relisted it basically, but through Poshmarks and not my VA. So then this person actually comes back and they're like, hey, I'm sorry I missed your offer. Could you resend it? And I told him I actually listed that by mistake. Granted, I didn't do it, and I didn't want to say my bot did it because it just would have been really awkward. So I was like, I did that by mistake. The price point is the price point that it is. And he ended up saying, okay, and he just like ghosted me, which is understandable because you could have got a item for like maybe 12 bucks when it's actually going for about 25. So he missed out on like a dope ass, you know, steal. So anyways, I woke up a day later and I noticed that somebody on Mercari actually sent me an offer because it was listed for 25 on Mercari, and they sent me a $20 offer. So I was happy that I didn't, you know, just let it go for that 9, although that was my fuck up. But if he would have bought it at the 9 when it sent out the offers, I would have just allowed him to keep it because, you know, like I said, I messed up, not him. So yeah, but I'm happy about that it ended up working out. I'm actually hoping that it's not the same person because they might leave me negative feedback. So that is something to think about, because I noticed that on their Mercari page they only have 2 reviews, so who knows. And the person that sent me that on Poshmark, they were new as well because they didn't have anything on their page. But this one sold for $20. I picked it up for $1.52 at the bins, and I profited $15.40 off of it. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Have y'all noticed that the sales for Mercari could have possibly declined if you sell things over £1 due to their pricing going up? Because I just noticed I used a FedEx label because of course it weighs more than £1, and the FedEx is now $9.50 versus $7.99. So I was pretty surprised that, you know, because I'm sure he paid a little bit over $30 for that in total. And y'all know people cheap on, you know, Mercari. Okay, so my last sale on Mercari is this Free People sweater. It's kind of like a very fuzzy, really looking worn in item, but I went on and got it. So this one sold pretty quickly. I listed it on Monday and it sold within a week, and it is flawed. I was wondering why people at the bins left it behind. It's not terribly flawed. I'm sure you can wash it and get that little stain out, but of course I didn't see it until it was time for me to photograph. So of course I like to be on top of it when it comes to the flaws, and I'll photograph them and try to note them in the listing. But sometimes I do, you know, overlook it or I mess up. But they sent me an offer for $22. I think I had it listed at $28 if I'm not mistaken. They sent me a $22 offer and I accepted it because I don't know about y'all, but Free People doesn't do what it used to do. And I think we've all talked about this, but it really falls into what exactly you're picking up. Because if you pick up a, you know, item that is trending right now, you pick up a maxi dress, you pick up something that people actually like are searching out for, you're gonna get top dollar for it. But if you're just picking up basics and like, you know, older styles and whatnot, people are probably not gonna pay, you know, high dollar for it unless it's something that they probably either was searching for and they couldn't find it and yours is the only one listed. They'll be willing to pay your price point for it. But yeah, so I paid $1.22 at the bins for this item, and I profited $17.44 after fees and cost of goods. I say that was a pretty good sale. This thing is like really fluffy and fuzzy. and I was wondering about the print, because I was wondering, like, is cheetah print, animal print still in? Yeah, y'all gonna see in a haul video on how much animal print that I picked up, and I was wondering, like, are people still wearing animal print? Is it like never gonna go out of style, or is it out of style and I just got lucky with the sale? Some of these are inventoried in these bags, so we love to see it, so I don't have to wrap them. But I'll pop some of these on the screen that are already put inside the bags. But this is a pair of 𝕊𝕼 trousers. Now, if you don't know, 𝕊𝕼 is actually a linen brand. I know that it's sold at Anthropologie, and I love to say that because you already know Anthropologie is gonna sell your items sometimes. So I like to put that out there. But these are just like some tan ones. These got so much attention. This is actually the first piece that I've picked up from this brand. And of course I found it at the bins. And I got a lot of attention on it. And since it's a size large, I figured that was gonna happen because we all know size larges do a lot better in most items. But I ended up selling it for $27. It was through an offer. My Poshmark actually sent it out, and I only paid $1.06 at the bins, and I profited $18.52 after fees and cost of goods. This one was actually pretty nice. So I didn't know that this was a newer style. This is actually from 2022. And I thought that was pretty cool. It's an REI sweater. Now, it's a REI co-op, and I do think that that is a sub brand, but in my experience, I feel like it actually does better than regular REI, which I don't really understand why. But I received quite a few people liking this on Poshmark and Mercari, and somebody sent me a message about it on Depop, and she was asking, like, is this like fully hemp and cotton, or does it have like a different fabric to it? I answered her questions. She asked me what is the signs of it, like is it any signs of wear, is it any flaws, and all that fun stuff. Now, these questions really irritate me, mainly because I am forthcoming in my listing. I will photograph the item. I'll try to utilize at least the 16 photos. Like if I can't find anything else, it'd probably be 10, but for the most part, I try to photograph every aspect of the item because I want you to know what you're getting. So when she sent me that, like I said, I got annoyed because I'll put not only in the photos, I'll photograph, but I'll also put it in the description if the item has flaws in it. That's just a given because I guess people just don't either like to read. Some people don't even like to look at the photos. They just want you to validate them in their concerns. So I went on and told her there's no flaws, but it does show signs of wear. It's been worn and washed because I actually did wash this item. I think I must have found something on it, and I washed it with, you know, with the bins closed, and the stain came out. So there was no flaws to it, but when I washed it, I didn't dry it, so it looked real crinkly and shit. So I don't know if that was like her concern, but anyways, so I told her that it's been worn and washed, and then she just never came back. So this one sold on Poshmark for $20. They sent me an offer, and I tried to sit it out because it had multiple people that have liked it. So I was like, well, let me just wait a little bit and see if anybody else is gonna come and scoop it up, but nobody did. So I went on and accepted her offer. I paid $1.10 for this at the bins, and I profited $14.90 after fees and cost of goods. This one was kind of upsetting. This brand is actually called VIAGLO, if I'm not mistaken. This one sold, of course, on Poshmark, and it is a men's brand, if I'm not mistaken. And I've had this for a couple of months now. I do remember receiving an offer for $15, but since I had just listed it, I thought that was a little too low because I think I had it listed at like 28 or something. So they eventually didn't accept my counter offer, and I was like, okay, whatever. But somebody finally sent me a $10 offer, and since we are moving out of wintertime, I went on and accepted it to get it out. Lesson learned. I would 100% accept that first offer instead of waiting more months just to receive a lower offer. But this one was sold for $10. I paid $1.05 at the bins, and I profited $6 off of it. So the next one is a brand called 𝕃𝔼𝔼𝕂. This is actually a men's brand. I want to say that it's a denim jean brand, but I really don't know, to be completely honest. But I got so much attention on these on Poshmark, on eBay, and nobody was trying to commit, and it really broke my heart because I'm like, what's wrong with them? The price point was actually really good. I had them listed at $55. I noticed the sold comps were at 50 to 65, so I'm just kind of like, what's going on? But mine got a bit of attention. Somebody finally shot their shot and they sold for $40. They sent me a $40 offer. I did sit on it for a little bit because if you guys know any better on Poshmark, it's best to wait at least like maybe a couple of hours when you get a offer on Poshmark, because it'll notify everybody else that has liked that item that somebody has sent an offer, and sometimes it will entice somebody to go and buy it full asking price if they really want it, because then that means somebody else is going to get it. So yeah, so I waited and nobody committed, so it was just like whatevs. But it sold for $40 and I paid $1.10 for it at the bins, and I profited $30.09 off this item. I would 100% pick this up again. I really only picked it up because of the label. The label looked really nice and expensive, so I was like, let me go ahead and throw this in my cart and I'll look at comps before I leave, and I'm glad I did. So now this is going to be one of those brands, kind of like Diesel. I'm going to make sure that I pick them up, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like I enjoy picking up men's denim jeans. I recently sold a pair of Lucky brand men denim jeans, and they were a vintage style, and they sold really quickly for like $32, I want to say, and of course I got them from the bin, so I made a pretty good profit because they bought them at full asking price. And yeah, I know that it's smart to like niche down, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm not niching down anything. I'm gonna sell women's, men's, and children. I'll sell pet items if I find them, if they don't make me some money. But I don't know, like I feel like we should all do what works for us. If you can niche down and that works for you, you only buy dresses or you only buy like high dollar items, great, love that for you. But for me, I'm gonna get my greedy little hands on everything. So the next one is actually a pair of Paige denim jeans. This has been in my inventory for a while because at some point many months ago I tried to do the inventory system where I put the number so I can have a SKU, and then I would put it in my inventory spreadsheet. But I soon realized that that was not going to work for me because that was just too entirely tedious, so I stopped that after like the 7th one. I was like, nah, this isn't going to work. But anyways, so I actually picked those up at a regular thrift store because I had high hopes for them because they were a size 31. If you know anything about sourcing Paige denim jeans, y'all know that you really only find, you know, between a 26 to a 29 if you're lucky. And when I seen that it was a 31, I'm like, these are in excellent condition. I could at least get about $30 for these, y'all. So I waited and waited and waited and waited, and they finally sold. This one came through from a Posher VA offer, and they sold at $25 with discounted shipping, and I bought them for $6.80, and I only profited $11.18. So pretty depressing, but you know, I'm happy to get them out of the way. The next one is also a depressing sale. This is an aloe yoga pair of leggings. I actually sourced these at a buy sell trade store. I was so excited because I'm like, ooh, you know, I've given them all of my items that couldn't sell, so let me pick up some items that I know will sell. And aloe yoga, I don't think I had, at that point anyways, I don't think I ever found them at a thrift store. So when I saw them at a buy sell trade store, I was like, oh, I gotta get them. I bought 2 that day, and they both have been sitting. And I mean, I remember going in October, I want to say. It had to have been September or October, I remember going, because I did a video. I'll actually link that down below so y'all can see it. But I went to the buy sell trade store, and I think I made like $120, and then I bought the items from it, so I end up getting the store credit so I can get that extra 30%. So I got these 2 items, and I was like so juiced about it. I'm like, oh, these are gonna sell for over $50. Y'all, Did they? No, they didn't. This one sold for $28. Somebody sent me an offer, and since I have been getting nothing but likes on the item, I was just kind of like so annoyed, and I'm like, I'm ready for them to go. If you guys have seen a slow decline in your leggings department, let me know, because I feel like I have. I feel like people don't really care for athleisure anymore. Like, it's not really that girl. And this kind of was an older style, so that was really my fault for not like vetting it a little bit more. But anyways, it's over $28. I don't remember how much I paid for it at the Buy Sold Trade store. So I put my cost of goods at 0 because I don't remember how much I actually, you know, used my store credit amount for. So I profited $22.40 off of this item. Never again. All right, so the last one is a nice big juicy bundle. If you guys watched my vlog, I talked more about the situation, so I'm not gonna do that here because I'll be here all day. But I got a nice little, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piece bundle from a nice lady. If she follows me, hey girl, hey. If she doesn't, it is what it is. But I got all of these items out the door because of a mishap. So I messed up on something, and then this person went and bought more of my items, and I absolutely love that for me because, you know, I got a lot of this stuff out. Now these are all different sizes, so I am not sure if they are a reseller because their page is like they cleared it off, so they don't even have like their about me post up, and they don't really have like a photo of them. I believe it's like children as their photo, and these are all different sizes and also different gender items. So I don't know, but I'm pretty happy to see it go. This one is a Free People tank top. Also got this from the bins. This one is a Torrid t-shirt. Got this from the bins. This is that fish shirt that I was like laughing about in my haul. I'll link that video down below because a lot of those items sold already, but I was like really reluctant with this item, but I was like, I'm gonna pick it up for shits and giggles. But it sold in this bundle, so I was loving that. And then this is the item that I messed up on. This is the one that I was supposed to send initially, but I sent her something completely different, and it's just a Tommy Bahama sweater. And then lastly from this bundle is a vintage find. This one has like a 3D textured knit print to it, and I just thought that it was really pretty when I saw it. So of course you already know I took it home. So she sent me a $65 offer, and I paid $6.45 for all of this together, and I profited $45.55 on this bundle. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you actually like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and consider subscribing because, you know, I'm trying to grow my channel. And I also want you guys to leave this emoji, so it lets me know how far you've made it in this video. But thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you in the next one.